Welcome back to the sanctuary of stardom. Welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. We are the narrators of your favorite fantasies and the keepers of the quiet truths behind the brightest faces on screen. If you come here for gossip with a heartbeat and stories that breathe, you are exactly where you need to be. Before we walk into what awaits, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss a moment. And for those who want to stand a little closer to the spotlight with us, the join button is your key to supporting this home of cinematic whispers and romantic revelations. Tonight we aren't leafing through the past, we're sketching a story in the colors of tomorrow. The canvas is 2026, and the signature across the bottom belongs to the duo everyone is watching, Halil Ibrahim Ceyhan and Sıla Turkoğlu. In an industry where affections can flicker like a faulty marquee, there is something astonishing in two people moving like planners rather than passengers. The corridors of chatter aren't vibrating with scandal, but with something far scarier for skeptics: intention. What is echoing from private rooms to public timelines is a line so simple, it feels like a spell: 2026 will be our year. This isn't a New Year note scribbled for luck. People close to their orbit say it's a blueprint. It signals a merging of paths, not as two travelers who occasionally cross, but as partners tying a knot in the rope and pulling in the same direction. Sıla, long admired for composure and grit, has quietly redrawn her professional map. Instead of signing everything that glitters, she's filtering with a steady hand, choosing roles that stretch rather than repeat her. The calm at the center of this new stance, insiders insist, is the emotional steadiness she has found with Halil. When you know someone catches you even when you don't fall, you can afford to reach for higher shelves. She isn't chasing noise. She's curating meaning. Halil, meanwhile, appears to be thinking like a grandmaster in a game played across continents. He has one eye on global stages and another fixed on a domestic life that keeps him anchored. The test they've set is enormous: build bigger careers without hollowing out the space between them. That calendar circle around 2026 reportedly isn't just a dream board, it's a deadline. Sources say they've locked in personal time months ahead, an almost impossible ballet for actors whose lives run on shifting call sheets. Whether applause chases them overseas or swirls at home, they want carved-out pockets where their world shrinks to two. Listen closely to how they speak now, and you can hear a philosophy forming. Sıla's outlook has quieted and sharpened at once. She's told confidants that they want to evolve together, not merely exist side by side. We're calmer. We see with clearer eyes. Growth is the point, she said in essence. For us here at Secrets Behind the Stars, that naturally begs a question we'll pass to you: what lies behind that big red circle on next year's page? Is it the sound of wedding music rising behind closed doors, or is it the hush of a set where they face each other under a new script's light? Tell us how you read the signs below. Do you hear vows, or do you hear an action call? And while you're there, let us know which other duos deserve an X-ray from this channel. If you're enjoying this deep dive, a like from you keeps the lamp lit for more nights like this. Of course, speculation about marriage arrives on cue, like a theme song everyone knows the words to. They are not pouring gasoline on rumors, but they aren't moving to douse them either. Their long-view planning has thrown sparks into imaginations. When asked, Sıla has given answers that feel like doors half open. Everything in life arrives in its own season, there's no rush, but the dream is not small. Fans who swoon hear soft lace and white silk in those words. Fans who think pragmatically hear an unshakable bond that doesn't require a certificate to make it concrete. And Halil, famously guarded with his private world, has reportedly told friends that the pieces are clicking into place. When a man who rarely declares anything says his life is taking a clear shape, it usually means he's sketching more than a career. He's drawing rooms, windows, a table for two. Online, their admirers have already turned that simple line, 2026 will be our year, into a banner waved day and night. It isn't just a caption, it's a campfire, a pledge, a rally. And the biggest jolt of electricity comes from whispers about teaming up on screen again. Their time together on Eminet wasn't just performance, it was heat, tenderness, conflict, and reconciliation woven in a way that made viewers forget the frame. The mere hint that they might read opposite each other again has producers refreshing their contact lists. Insiders say they aren't interested in repeating yesterday's story. They're seeking a project that acknowledges everything they've learned, that gives them space to play as grown artists and as partners who know each other's breaths like cues. But peel back the curtain further and you'll find a reorganization that reaches beyond contracts and cameras. They're reportedly dismantling the distance that often sabotages actor couples. The days of months apart, of celebrations missed and dinners postponed into oblivion, are being rethought. Their teams are coordinating so that sets don't mean separations, and projects don't become rivals to intimacy. Sıla has been candid in private moments. Triumph tastes sweeter when there are 2 spoons in the bowl. Halil, for his part, has begun to see the coming year not just as a climb, but as a moment to cement what he stands for. He's carving a legacy, and he simply can't envision it without fingerprints that aren't only his. There are murmurs that Sıla has quietly shaped beats in his creative choices, suggesting songs he might write, angles he might play, notes he might bend, blurring the line between muse and co-architect. There is another sign for those who know where to look: family. In recent months, observers have noticed more time being spent in living rooms rather than lobbies, around dinner tables rather than premieres. He has leaned into her world, she has relaxed into his. A relative on Sıla's side has reportedly remarked that she seems lighter, as if the air around her has finally turned friendly. That kind of ease usually comes when you feel covered from behind, when you can step forward without glancing backward in fear. The weaving of 2 families into one fabric doesn't happen by accident. It's slow work, and it's deliberate. Which is why those close to them believe 2026 isn't a catchphrase, it's a North Star. If you've listened to Sıla recently, you can hear the edges of a rebirth. In interviews, there's a clarity that wasn't always there before: drawn lines, firm yes, and unapologetic no's. She has said, in her way, that she knows what she refuses to carry into tomorrow. That kind of boundary only holds when someone at your side respects where you stand. And Halil, steady as a metronome, has been her constant. Appearing at the edge of sets with a quiet smile between scenes, hopping flights for brief hours together when schedules demand oceans, marking anniversaries and small holidays with the reverence of someone who understands that memories are currency. Whispers even suggest he's adjusting his 2026 lineup to keep Turkey as the center of gravity, so that the space between them doesn't become the third person in the relationship. The most radical thing they're doing, though, might be choosing silence. In a world that wants every gesture catalogued and every meal posted, they have been slipping out of the map's obvious routes, disappearing into green spaces and sea horizons where cameras can't easily follow. They hoard these unphotographed days like treasure, not because they fear being seen, but because they crave being unobserved. Enemies of overexposure, they are reclaiming the right to be small for each other, to become tiny dots against a mountain and listen for the sound of nothing except shared breath. So what does all of this add up to? They aren't sketching just a year, they're architecting a life. They want the summit view and they refuse to hike alone. Does 2026 belong to them? The more accurate question may be, how could it not, when they move with this much alignment and this much care? Every choice hints at a pair handing each other tools, holding ladders steady, knowing when to speak and when to keep still. And we will be here, tracking the smallest shiver of the next chapter, ready to bring you every piece when it clicks into place. Thank you for spending your time with Secrets Behind the Stars. If you believe in this partnership the way the whispers suggest they believe in each other, show it with a like, share this with the fans who have always rooted for them, and consider pressing join to help this channel keep telling the stories that pull you back night after night. Until we meet again, keep your gaze on the constellations and your steps steady on the ground. Good night, and get ready. Because the calendar is turning, and somewhere in the quiet, 2 people are already writing the year they promised each other.